Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Mostly From Scratch. I am your host Mr. Munchies, and this is part 2 of the New England Clam Chowder and Cheddar Bay Biscuit episode. In this episode I am going to show you how to make the Cheddar Bay Biscuits. You can see we've got our clam chowder sitting there. So let's get into our ingredient list. First you're going to need 3 cups of Bisquick, or a general purpose breakfast mix. I am just using the one from Publix. Next you are going to need 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/2 tablespoon of dried parsley, 1 to 1.5 cup buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use regular milk. I just like the tang from the buttermilk. And a package of cheddar cheese. So first we're going to incorporate our dry ingredients, our onion, our garlic, and our parsley. Get those mixed together. That way we don't have big chunks of any kind of flavor in one biscuit compared to the other one. Now our oven is preheated at 450 degrees, so that's all ready to go. Alright, that looks good. I think everything is pretty well incorporated here. Now we're going to add our buttermilk. I'm going to add about a 1/2 cup to start with. Give that a stir with the fork. I'm going to go ahead and add the other half now. And we'll see how the consistency looks. If we've got a nice moist batter here, not batter, dough. We're not making pancakes. Alright, take a look at this. See how that looks? I'm going to add just a little bit more, probably about another 1/4 cup. Now this should make anywhere between 6 to 8 biscuits, depending on how big you drop them on the pan. Alright, that's a lot better. So about 1.25 cups. You can see we've got a nice biscuit batter, biscuit dough. I don't know why I'm calling it batter. I guess probably because this is the only time I ever used this kind of mix. I've never made anything else with it. Alright, so now, just like everything else, when you incorporate your wet with your dry, we're going to let it set for about 5 minutes. Give the dry ingredients time to open up, and then we're going to add our cheese and drop it onto our pan. So I'm going to let this set for about 5 minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. It's been about 5 minutes. Our dough is set. Now it's time to add the cheese. Now I have fine shred. I actually prefer coarse, but this is what I had on hand. The coarse shred doesn't seem to melt into the biscuit as much, but I'm using what I got. So I'm going to add some of that cheese, mix it in. This is one of those things where you're going to kind of eyeball it to see how much cheese you want to put in there. I like a lot of cheese, so it's going to be quite a bit. So just get the cheese mixed in there. See how it looks? Now, this looks kind of washed out on my screen. I hope it's not, doesn't turn out like that. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. Get that mixed in. Now it's going to start getting kind of stiff when you add in this cheese. So you got to kind of work it real good. Make sure you get all your cheese well incorporated. I find using a fork works pretty well, but if you have a hand blender with the kneading hooks on it, you could probably use that too if you don't have the strength in your hand. I mean, I've always got to straighten my fork back out after I make these things. Alright, we've got our cheese incorporated. Take a look at that. It's a pretty stiff dough. Now we're just going to drop some out onto our baking sheet. I'd say that's maybe half a cup. And they don't have to be all nice and pretty. You want them kind of craggy. Now if you don't have silicone mats like these, use a piece of parchment paper. Don't use wax paper, because wax paper will melt and then your stuff will taste all waxy. So try to stick with the parchment paper. Alright, I got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm going to stick with the 7 and just make them each one a little bit bigger. Alright, we got them all in the pan. Take a look at that. So they're not too thick, they're about an inch thick. About 2.5 inches around. Now, you can take either sea salt, or I have some that pink Himalayan salt. You know, this stuff is mined by Yetis. And I'm just going to grind a little bit on top. And they are going to go into the oven at 450 degrees for anywhere from, I'm going to say, 12 to 15 minutes. So once they come out, I'll show them to you. We'll plate up some chowder, tear into some biscuits, and see how it goes. Alright, everything is done. Our biscuits are out of the oven. They took approximately 12 minutes. Our chowder is done, so let's take a look, get close up on this biscuit here. Feel nice and golden brown. Open it up. It is, I just took these out of the oven, so it is screaming hot. You know, cheese melted out through there. See our parsley flakes. So, let's give this stuff a try because I am starving. Got our chowder. Take a look at the chowder here. Got nice chunks of clam and potato. You can see our carrots and our little celery. Can't see the onions, of course, they're translucent. Alright, so let's give this a try. Perfect. You know, I added a little heat to this. It's got that little bit of bite in the back there. Very clammy tasting. We got our chunks of potato, which actually this could cook a little bit longer. The potato's still a little firm, but it's alright. Very delicious. Very clammy. Very good. Now our biscuit. Our Cheddar Bay biscuits. Cheddar Che. Oh yeah, those are perfect. They're cheesy, kind of gooey. You get the onion and a little bit of onion, a little bit of garlic flavor there. Taste the parsley. Perfect combination. Yeah, real good. Okay, so in conclusion, sorry, I got a mouthful of biscuit. Clam chowder, Cheddar Bay biscuits. Give them a try. Let me know what you think. If I left anything out, let me know. If you're watching this on Facebook, share it with your friends. Give me some feedback. If you're watching this on YouTube, share it with everybody on your contact list. Give me some thumbs up. You know, if you're not a subscriber yet, go ahead and subscribe. I got so many recipes coming up. And, you know, to my YouTube subscribers that I have already, you guys, thank you very much. You know, helping support my channel. YouTube pays attention to this stuff, so that'll do it for another episode of Mostly From Scratch. I am your host, Mr. Munchies. So everybody, plate up and chow down.